Finish the Wall says, I hate Aussie guy. You want to hear something? This is fun. This is fun. So Aussie guy DM'd me on Twitter, and he's like, I'm going to be on with Milton today. Would you like, is there anything you want me to ask him? Do you want me to sneak any questions into Milton while I'm on Hughezy's show today? And I'm like, no. I have shit to do today. I'm not going to watch your appearance. I don't need you to ask any questions. I wrote to him, I said, look, when your enemies are making mistakes and destroying themselves, just let them. And he's like, okay. Like he thought that he wanted to like gay op the shit out of the interview. Like he wanted to do a double cross or something like that. Like he wanted to really Vince Russo it up. Okay. Well, and I know you're going to bring this up on your show. So that's totally, I don't care if you do. Like, okay. It's gross, that whole internet world where they think it matters and they're like, I'm going to be on with Milton. You want me to sneak any questions in? I'm like, you and I aren't friends. you and I aren't even acquaintances. Like, you begged Hughezy to be on his show one time while I was on there, and I yelled at you for being a rat piece of shit, for being a slimy, dishonest slug, basically. I read you the riot act. And then dude, if I were that guy, I would be so embarrassed that, Aaron gave me a talking to. I would not go into Aaron's DMs and then go, oh, Aaron, hey, buddy, do you want me to ask him any questions? Well, I'll get them for you. No. Don't feel free to never do that again. McBuster says Hughezy needs to get away from Melton. Not a good look. No, I don't. Look, I don't dislike Hughezy, but I always kind of thought Hughezy was one of those people who had a little bit of integrity. And it pains me to say this because I don't dislike the guy. But if you're going to talk to people who have talked about my children, I don't. He DM'd me yesterday. He's like, will you come on the show? Hey, you can come on the show anytime. I won't be on a screen with Hughezy ever again. That's just, I get needing views. I get needing clout. But like, when you're talking about a guy who regularly talks about kids, even though it's internet and it's all, you do have to draw a line somewhere. And for me, and not look, I'm not saying everyone has to draw the same line I do. Other people, if Hughezy's totally cool with people talking about other people's kids, that he's not doing anything illegal, he's not breaking any laws. He can have different lines than I have. But for me, that's a line. So I don't think Hughezy needs me. I certainly don't need Hughezy. So let him operate his channel however he sees fit. Oh, Mirrors is coping this morning. He says, Melton owns your ass like Ricada owns my ass. He's huffing every inhale he takes, he's breathing in my ass fumes. But hey, sweetie, whatever you need to make yourself whole again. Elza Belza says he messaged you to play internet. Is he a functioning adult? No, he's not. Oh, yeah, Finish the Wall says, don't forget, he DM'd you and apologized. Yeah, he DM'd me after the first interview I did with Hughezy, and he goes, hey, man, that was a great show. We were, people are really going to like that. And I'm like, yeah. You and I, we're a regular Laurel and Hardy. It's mental illness. These people are mentally ill, and that's coming from me. But no, it was fun. Like, look, the fact that I occupy so much of people's lives, if you don't think that a guy with my ego doesn't get off on that and recognize what that is, you must not know about me. McBuster says all Melton's minions are no quarter. They're not. They're sad. They're children. Like I told Corn Diff, they're children playing in my sandbox, and there's plenty of room, kids. I mean, are they the retarded ones who shit and piss in the sandbox? And yes, we have to keep them to their own corner, just for health reasons. But we still let them play there. Finish the Wall says, I'm pleased that I was right about Aussie guy. He's talentless. There's nothing worse than a guy who, like, really wants it and can't get it. Like, he wants to have, like, a following. And he's one of those guys who still tries. And then when he doesn't get it, he goes, well, I'm not doing it for any kind of following. I'm just having fun. Yes, you are. Stop it. Stop. That's more embarrassing than trying and failing. You're not going to go on and post anything to the internet and go, well, I don't want a following. Of course you do. Of course you want a following. Trucker 18-wheeler with $1.99 says, Mersh still thinks you got contempt on Ralph. I'm not starting to think. Mersh's brain is fried. I'm pretty sure Mersh's brain is shot at this point. If you go back and you watch him, say like around 2016, you go watch Revenge of the Sis around 2016, and you watch now, it's not the same guy. Like, it's just, I mean, the decline, the degradation, the mental capacity, it's, and just his body went to shit too. I mean, he's just completely given up. I can't, I'll try to explain this one more time for the special needs kids in the back. I don't have the power or authority to charge anyone with contempt of court. I'm glad Mersh thinks I am that powerful. I appreciate it. I cannot charge anyone with contempt of court. I can't tell anyone to bring contempt of court charges. There has to be a mighty pissed off judge, and oh boy, there was. And there has to be a giant pig man who did something really retarded, and oh boy, there was. So, look, I understand that Mersh isn't the brightest guy. I understand that, you know, law is not his forte, neither is it mine. But I think him thinking that, first of all, imagine defending Ethan Ralph. I mean, second of all, no, I can't bring contempt charges on people. I did see that people won't leave poor Ethan Ralph alone. He pled guilty to that contempt of court charge. He paid a higher fine than you're supposed to. On a contempt of court charge, you're only supposed to, the maximum fine in Minnesota was $250. So I don't know if like criminal record was part of it. I don't know if there was something else going on, but he paid a much higher fine than you're supposed to for contempt of court in Minnesota. It was fascinating to me that Ethan had begged the judge just like a couple days earlier, like, will you wipe this whole thing away? I really want to see my boy for Christmas, and so on and so forth. And they said, can I show up on Zoom? Can I just take care of this via Zoom? I don't want to come into the United States and go to Minnesota and have to deal with this. I have cats, for God's sake. Remember that. Ethan Ralph can't come to Minnesota because the whole reason you have cats is because they're independent. You can leave them, right? And you're sad. So he's like, my cats. I can't come to Minnesota because I got my cats. Now remember, this guy is so desperate to see his son over Christmas, but not if it means leaving cats for a few days. So he writes to the judge, and the judge goes, how about you go f*** yourself? You come up here, you answer for what you done. And then all of a sudden, Stearns County and Ethan Ralph, just a couple of days later, Ethan Ralph and Stearns County come to an agreement where he can stay in Mexico, sign off, plead guilty to the whole thing, pay a fine, some stayed jail time, and he's done. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, and I'm certainly not trying to be Mersh. Oh my God, how awful that would be. But I'll theorize for a minute. Was some information shared? Was some data given? Was there some kind of deal? Was there a quid pro quo that happened? Or did Stearns County just want to get this useless nonsense off its books because they got something else coming pretty soon? I don't know. But they got it all taken care of. But then, okay, so they get it all taken care of. And then you get, what was it? You get the whole thing taken care of. And then people on the internet still wanted to go after Ralph. They still wanted to hammer Ethan because they said that he lied in the court papers. They said he lied about his address in the court papers. To which I will say, like, look, I have no animosity towards Ethan Ralph. And like, I'm not like Mersh. I can't invent animosity with people just so I can, get clicks, because that's gay and shit chicks do. But so I don't have this animosity that other people do. I mean, Ethan Ralph was just kind of a sad guy, just kind of off doing his thing. People were really going hard on this whole, he lied about his address on the court papers and we should let the court know. And can't you let a guy go at some point? Like, at what point are you doing gay ops? The guy filled out the paperwork. He did the thing. He did the plea. And people are like, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny if we got him in trouble for putting the wrong address down? I'm like, no, you and I have very different ideas of what's funny. Like, who's the victim in Ethan Ralph putting the wrong address down on a piece of paper? Like, there's no justice to be sought for that. You're just trying to get a guy in trouble because you don't like him. And there's so much more to do.